Hello, Schulering. Welcome to another episode of a podcast Talking Hospitality by the Schulering Hub. And today I have Claudia Bogensperger with me from Green Key, a foundation that helps hotels driving through sustainability. Claudia, good morning. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Claudia, we normally start with the human part first in our show. So could you tell our audience a little bit more about who you are and how you got here?
Thank you so much. My name is Claudia. I'm originally from Austria, and basically I feel like the tourism industry, as we would say in German, has been put in my shoes because I'm from a small ski region in the mountains. So from very young, we had tourists coming to our house from all over the world. And I believe that that's the reason why I have developed a passion for the tourism industry. And when I got older, I kept that passion, and throughout my whole life, I actually worked in the tourism industry and also studied tourism management. At a later point, I realized that just like it is the case with other industries, while tourism can be a means to do really good and to develop regions and create employment in places like in rural areas where there wouldn't be employment, and actually to show everyone the beautiful world that we live in. Tourism can also put a lot of harm on our environment, and that's why the urge in myself has developed to not only work in that industry that I love, but also to give back in a way, and to use the knowledge that I was able to gain through my work and through the companies I worked through and my education, to actually use it for, so to say, a good cause. And that's why I came to Denmark and did a master here in social entrepreneurship and management, and with a focus on the sustainable tourism. And that's how I ended up working for Green Key. And this is where I'm right now.
That's a great journey, starting from the passion from hospitality and then getting a mission behind it. That's a very nice way of looking at the tourism to make a better world. Thank you for taking up on this journey. And what's then the Green Key? Please, how did it start? What's the foundation about?
So Green Key has been launched in 1994 by the Danish Hotel and Tourism Association. What that means is that actually it has been made from the industry for the industry. In 2002, Green Key then became part of the Foundation for Environmental Education, which it is part of right now. And as the name of the foundation already says, education is at the core of our work. So at FEE, in short, we have 5 programs that we operate in, 2 of which are in the tourism industry, Green Key, and the other one, Blue Flag. And what we do in Green Key is we help establishments on their path towards more sustainability by certifying them for the sustainability criteria they follow. And besides that, what our other programs do is, for example, Blue Flag also certifies beaches and marinas worldwide, and the 3 other programs, Eco Schools, Winery, and Learning About Forests, are really focusing about the next generation and trying to implement sustainability as a standard, or as something that's taught from early age to everyone, basically.
It's awesome. So it was made by actually a hotel. Green Key started as a hotel. It started from the industry for the industry.
It didn't. It hasn't been founded by a hotel, but it has been founded by the Hotel Association. So it's in many countries. In Denmark, it's the Horester. In many countries, there's an association of hotels and restaurants and tourism enterprises. And in 1994, Horester here in Denmark started Green Key.
Yeah, cool. I'm sad. Sorry. And so let's get a little bit more about the services that the Green Key provides, because when you talk education, you really touch my heart. So it's my most important value that I have, lifelong learning. And how does Green Key help the hotels?
So in Green Key, we believe that actually the power of change is the best gift that we can give to future generations. And what we believe is that we need to empower people to take actions themselves. And in order to be able to do that, we need to educate. And so that's a big part of our work. So on the one hand, of course, the guidance we give is this whole certification process and assisting our establishments along the way and helping them with all the individual questions and difficulties they might face when trying to implement sustainability standards. And at the same time, while doing that, we try to educate. So we have a variety of materials, resources, and also personal support that we give to our tourism establishments. And I would say that our criteria, actually, I say that very often, they're freely available for anyone. So any hotel that is at the beginning of their sustainability journey can actually take the criteria at hand and see them as a roadmap. They are divided into categories, so you can divide the different criteria sections in the departments of your tourism establishment, and so the whole team works on the sustainability goal together. And very often, I mean, sometimes, of course, thinking about also smaller establishments, the whole path to achieving all the criteria is a quite long path, but at the same time, it creates a team spirit because everyone is working together on the same goal. And and finally, I would say what makes Green Key special and also the Foundation for Environmental Education is that we work with national operators. So that means that we have member organizations in now more than 40 countries. Meaning that we have a national organization in the country that works and that does the operational work of Green Key. And of course that enables us to be way closer to the establishments, to understand the situation, because we operate worldwide and it is different in every country, and to speak the language and actually understand what is the guidance specifically that establishment needs.
Let's try to imagine, because I'm starting to have the feeling that maybe some of our hoteliers in the audience here may be thinking wow, I have to start my journey, but how does it happen? Can you help me just quickly walking me through? I'm a new hotel approaching Green Key. What would happen?
Sure. So it really depends first in which country you're operating. And depending on that, if you work in a country with a national operator, you could simply approach the national operator and ask that you're interested to join our program. If you're operating, and we have a map on our website that shows where we have national operators. And if you are in a country without a national operator, you can. We also certify establishments in those countries through the international head office. So you would actually approach me and ask that you would like to join the program. And then the whole application process starts. So we will send you our materials, our criteria. We will recommend you to go through them to see what you might already comply with, because sometimes depending on the establishment you are, you might be surprised that some of the criteria you actually already do comply with. And then we assist you along the way, basically, because there is always some follow-up questions in between. Also, very often the situations are specific, as I mentioned before. So besides the certification, we also provide a network of worldwide hotels and best practice examples or any kind of examples. So I think because of our now more than 25 years of being in the industry, doing certifications for hotels and other tourism establishments, there's almost no case that hasn't happened before. So I believe we also are able to give assistance in the sense of finding a solution if there is a difficulty in terms of complying with the criterion. And yeah, then we go along with the process. And once the application is final, we will send a local auditor. We work together with big auditing companies, which allows us again to be in the countries. And then the audit will happen. And then hopefully after the audit, the hotel is certified.
That's great. I can't wait to see more hotels jumping into this journey. And as you said, like, you've been doing this for so long, and probably there's not much that you haven't seen. What would be the common challenges that the hoteliers would have?
So I would say that it's very individual. I mean, there is a few of the criteria that are usually the most challenging for our establishments to achieve. But it is very individual in the sense, if I can give an example, we work together with hotels in very rural regions of the world, and that sometimes means that, for example, there is no connection to certain suppliers. There is barely any waste management facilities. There is sometimes it's even hard to be connected to the sewage system. So in that cases, of course, the challenges arising are even bigger than in, for example, European countries, where it's a lot easier because a lot is already given by regulations of the government. Mm-hmm. So in that case, but what we observe, and that's the beauty of it, is that our Green Key establishments actually find a way. So for me, working at the head office, it's always great if an establishment applies from a country where we already have a hotel or other tourism establishment that is certified, because then we know it is possible. Yeah. But of course, in all other countries of the world, we also believe it is possible. Yeah. Because it is a roadmap. And so yeah, the challenges that actually mostly appear are connected to waste management, are connected to cleaning products, because we do require that 75% of the daily use cleaning products have an eco label. So sometimes there is the issue of finding the right supplier in certain countries. In general, I think the challenges that establishments experience not only come from them, it really comes also from the infrastructure around them. There is a lack of resources. Very often there's a lack of awareness, which connected to a lack of willingness or knowledge or importance of the topic. And sometimes there's also just a lack of governmental policies and regulations that actually assist the establishments on their path towards more sustainability.
That's awesome for the answer, very complete. And now I'm just having this moment to have a shout to Jana Skokon from Frogix, because some places have problems with the logistics of finding sustainable products and eco products, and Frogix is a green marketplace that tries to solve these problems. It would be nice to maybe get the challenges, the areas that are having this trend, and connect with them so they can source and find the solutions for this country. It's just something that's what we do, trying to build some connections here.
Sounds great. I would love the connection.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. And you spoke a little bit about legislation, yeah? And this is a very hard topic because there are some countries that are so advanced and give so much support to the hotel, to the tourism industry to adapt to sustainability. And other regions are very slow and very difficult to deal with. What type of legislation should hoteliers be prepared for the next 5 years?
I mean, that I wouldn't know for sure. But I do think what we observe in the market, it becomes to be a necessity or a requirement that there is some data reporting happening. So for example, our criteria, they also include a lot of elements where we ask our establishments to start tracking their energy data, their water data, their waste data, their CO2 emissions. Because first of all, you need to know where you're at in order to be able to actually start improving and be able to observe, or where are we using too many resources. So, and I think this is really important, and I think it will become a legislation, and it already is in some places, that you need to show what is your CO2 data as an enterprise. So I think it will become required that an establishment is able to provide proof of the actual claims that they are making. That, I believe, will be a development that will be important for everyone. So for hotels, the first step is to be certified, because there you can have a third party that actually shows that you are working on sustainability. But besides that, you need to also have the corresponding data showing that. And I think what's often forgotten is that sustainability is not only about environmental sustainability, it's also about social sustainability. So I think there's also the need to start tracking that. There is like something called social accounting, where you basically try to see what is the impact that you're actually having in the bigger picture. And I also think that it will become important to show that. I would say it's easy to say we're doing good. And of course, it's important to, first of all, get started. But I think it will also be important to show how you're doing that and have the corresponding evidence for that.
And what Green Key's next steps or plans for the future? What some region you're trying to reach? Is there anything that it's coming that we can maybe help?
We have a strategy, it's called Gaia 2030, that focuses on 3 burning issues of our time, which are climate change, biodiversity loss, and environmental pollution. So every year, one of these topics is actually the focus, and we try to create resources around it, organize webinars for the public that are freely available, that anyone from the tourism industry that is interested can join. And we basically perform a number of educational activities to get back to what I said at the beginning, to actually empower our audiences to take actions themselves and implement the solutions to help mitigate that effects of or that critical issues. So what's coming next for Green Key, it's not our way of working to say this is the country we tackle next. Very often it's a natural process. For example, we see that there is more and more development in Asia happening now. So I think it's a natural process that we follow, and we try, of course, always to be ahead and up to date. And how we try to ensure that is that every 4 years we do a revision of our criteria, so that we are actually in line with the developments of the market, and that we still serve the promise that we are from the industry for the industry. There is a lot of things happening in the market. It's beautiful to observe that sustainability, it will be becoming the norm. It's important that everyone, not only in the tourism industry, is jumping on the train right now, because we need to work on that, and we need to make sure that we leave our planet in the way for future generations, that they can also enjoy the beauty of our nature. And so, yeah, I think it's something important that each one of us should focus on, and also it's something that we have to do together. That's why I believe what you're doing here is really important, because it's not about one business, and it's not about being like egocentric in that sense and thinking that I'm the one with the solution. Green Key isn't the one with the solution. There is not one solution. The solution, in my opinion, is that we all work together and try to find a way so that we can still enjoy traveling around the world and seeing different places and experiencing cultures, but at the same time doing it in a way so we give back and we don't exploit the communities. We actually make sure that we leave the place behind in a better way that we found it, rather than the opposite. And the only way we can do that is by working together and by actually joining forces and on the way forward.
Regenerative tourism, yeah, let's work for it. That's great. Claudia, how can hotels, how can consultants find Green Key and start the journey?
Yeah, you can find us on our website, which is greenkey.global. You can always write us an email and approach us directly. On our website, you will be able to find the different contact details from our national operators or from us at Green Key International.
That was a fantastic chat. Thank you very much, Claudia. Thank you for bringing this energy. We need it in the industry. We need more people like this, not trying to solve their own problems, but actually trying to solve the industry problems and the world problems and helping each other, building this network of humans trying to make a better world for the next generation. Thank you very much for what you do. Thank you very much for this chat. I really appreciate it.
Thank you as well.